Hello everyone, and once again welcome back on behalf of FIS TV from Lillehammer on this penultimate day of the Junior and Under 23 World Championships in cross country. We are looking forward to the second medal event of this Saturday, and we are looking forward to find the last individual medalists of Lillehammer 2026 in the women's 10-kilometer individual start classic race. And that particular race will happen on this particular track, the 5 kilometers loop here at Birkebeinerin Stadium in Lillehammer, with its selective and special layouts, very much uphill in the first two-thirds of the loop, followed by quite a long downhill section back towards the stadium. And as we ski 10 kilometers today, this lap has to be run twice. Once again, my name is Luis Holuch and I will be your commentator for this event today, but also for the relays. We are looking forward to tomorrow, which will be nominated in course of the afternoon. But for now, we are focusing on the under 23 category for the women's. We have a start list of 64 competitors representing 24 different nations, and if you've watched the men's race earlier, you know how things are working. Each and every competitor is starting on their own, unlike what we have seen in the 20k must-start event. The start intervals between each and every athlete are 30 seconds, and similar to the World Cup, we have a group of seeded athletes which will start from bib 16 on. So with the even numbers following bib 18, bib 20, bib 22 and so on up until bib number 44. So these are considered to be the favorites for fighting for the last treble of medals today, as we arrive at the bottom of the start list. And the final competitor will start her race at 13:02. So just a little over half an hour later than the first competitor we're going to see. It's the 19th edition of a 10-kilometer individual race at the Under 23 Women's World Championships. The past couple of them held in a classic technique were in 2024, 2023 and 2022. The very last one, last year in Skilpario, Italy, was held in the free technique, won by Helen Hoffmann of Germany, ahead of Rosie Fordham of Australia and Liliane Gagnon of Canada, with Hoffmann winning this particular title for the third time in a row. So a very successful period for the German, and we are looking forward to her successor in this event. And the honor to start the race has Olivia Buszko of Poland, 22 years of age, who also made her World Cup debut this season with a 50th place in the sprint free in Oberhof and the 68th place in the sprint classic in Goms. But also in this particular race, she already had a success, winning bronze at the Polish National Championships last year. Here comes Darina Michal from the Ukraine, the first time in this age category. The past two editions of the event, she was still a junior. The Olympian from Milano Cortina, starting in 4 races there. And the third athlete is Katja Semenyuk from Canada. Also had 3 World Cup appearances already. That was in Minneapolis 2024, so a couple of years ago. Just like with the men's field, we have a great variety of athletes, not only when it comes to the nations, but also within their strengths and weaknesses, and also in terms of their experiences on multiple competition levels. Kamila Giniak, the next Polish athlete, also a newbie to the World Cup this season, but also a multiple medalist in Polish national championships in her age categories. Next up, Maddie Hooker from Australia, born and grown up in Melbourne. Started cross-country skiing in the age of 11, and then later on moved to the United States of America, where she attended the Stratton Mountain School. And also she recorded her Olympic debut recently in Milano Cortina, for instance, also being part in the relay that finished 14th. Anastasia Nikon from the Ukraine, yet another Olympian, also had 4 starts there after being a 2-time World Championship participant in Trondheim and Planica, the 2 latest editions. So gained multiple experiences on senior level as well. As here comes the first US American, Nina Schemberger, member of the University of Colorado ski team, the 20-year-olds. So just made the step into the under 23 category with a 28th place in the sprints. And also from the youngest year of birth, taking part here, Anne Buchmann of Germany. Unlike Schemberger before, she had 2 starts this week already with the sprint and also the 20K free technique. So third very different format. Today you're just basically on your own, fighting against the clock in the first place. Eva Thurston of the United States up next. From the Dartmouth ski team, one of those colleges in the United States that combine education with sports education and also obviously excellence at some point. Kaho Nakajima for Japan, born in 2003, so 22 years of age, which is the oldest age that is allowed to start in this championships category. And also in Japan, quite known that they have some sports program at universities, for instance. She's a student at the Waseda University, one of the more famous ones. And here comes her teammate Takane Toshitani. She's a student at the Nihon University. Won 2 races in the Far East Cup in Pyeongchang this winter in 5K interval start, both in free and classic techniques. And here comes Samantha Smith. tried herself in multiple sports, also freestyle skiing, track and field, where she even won state track titles, but also football, ice hockey and swimming. So overall, a multi-sport wonder, we can tell. Back to Team Japan with Yuka Yamasaki, another student of the Waseda University. Last winter she finished second in the Far East Cup overall ranking with 1 victory and third place in Sapporo. Also, she very balanced skier when it comes to the techniques. And here we see the first Austrian, Magdalena Engelhardt, a member of the Austrian ski team. Obviously, with Austria being quite the ski nation, they have multiple, not only training groups, but also squads inside their support system. She's in the C team, like I said. Also comparable to the system Germany have established in their country. Part of that, Katja Veit from Oberstdorf, the World Championship host town of 2021. Also very active in multiple sports. You can practice in and around Oberstdorf, alpine skiing, climbing, biking, but nevertheless, especially cross-country skiing. Lisa Eriksson, the first of the seeded athletes with bib number 16. So every second athlete coming up now is being part of that group. The junior world champion in relay and silver medalist in 50k Mastart Classic in Vuokatti 2021. This winter, a finisher of the Tour de Ski with a 41st place overall. So also she made her first bigger steps on senior level. This is Nora Kyttöjä from Finland. Also she has already 8 World Cup starts to her name, with the best place being 32nd in the 10k interval start classic in Ruka this season. So in exactly the same format as we will ski today. Beatrice Laurent from Italy, living in Pragelato, where the Nordic events of the 2006 Torino Olympic Games were held. Most recently scored her first podium in the Alpine Cup in a sprint race in Nové Mesto na Morave. Tuva Anine Brusvin Jensen for Norway. She has a full collection of medals in the junior category. A winner with the relay in 2022 in Ligna. Also scored a bronze medal there in the 15k free Mastart. And a silver medal 1 year later in Whistler in the 10 kilometer free. And we stay with Team Norway. Next up, Eva Ingebrigtsen, the silver medalist from the 20k Mastart here in Lillehammer. Just like the year before when they skied the same distance but in a classic technique. But she's also already an under 23 world champion with the relay last year in Skilpario. Justine Gaillard for France. Described herself in 3 words with rigorous, persistent and consistent. And these character traits made her become an Olympian recently in Milano Cortina, where she had a very interesting competition program for herself. Started in the Sprints Classic with a 44th place, and then at the very end in the 50k as well, finishing 32nd there. This is Ylvi Foulier for Italy, one of two sisters that are on the start today, so we will see her younger sister Marit in just a couple of minutes. Selene Rossi pretty much a year ago made her World Cup debut in Lahti. And recently became a silver medalist in the sprint at the Junior World National Championships of Finland. And up next is Eddie Convar for France. Huge fan of Jesse Diggins, so probably a little upset that the US-American hero will end her career at the end of the winter. Tove Eriksson, the next Swedish athlete, recently made her World Cup debut in Falun at her home World Cup. Immediately with a 29th place in the skiathlon, so she has proven to be a very versatile skier and is aiming to use exactly that to her advantage today. And we stick with Team Sweden. Up next, Evelina Kruschel. Good news for her that this event is being held in the classic technique because she prefers that one over the free technique. The two-time junior world champion from Planica in this particular event, so 10k interval start classic, but also in the mixed relay, which will be on the schedule tomorrow. Anna Milerska for Czechia. Despite being only 20 years of age, also she can call herself an Olympian already. Was part of the Czech relay that finished 11th in Milano Cortina. So first time we are heading out to the track with our cameras. Olivia Bushku, who opened this race, reached the checkpoint at 3.9 kilometers. The second to last one on the first lap of this 5 kilometers. Fabienne Alder, we saw her brother Roman earlier in this race today. He finished 28th actually. Here comes Charlotte Böhme for Germany. The junior athlete of the year 2024 in cross-country skiing at the German Ski Federation. And back out on the track with Kamila Iginiak. Still her teammate Olivia Bushko leading at that checkpoint, 3.2 seconds ahead of Katja Semeniuk. And it's looking like Polish double lead if everything goes according to plan. For Iginiak, that's exactly how it is. And the women carefully followed the men's race where they stepped out of the groomed track at this particular smaller climb, as we see the next Polish athlete, Susanna Fujak. Also she being a rookie in the World Cup this season. And here we already see the first overtake of this race. Nina Schemberger of the United States having a very strong outing in the first few kilometers of this race, overtaking Anastasia Nikon. Who was about to set the best time at that checkpoint, but Schamberger being even faster. Leonie Perry on track, as well as Silva Kempi, who will start her race. In this very moment, the 20-year-old from Finland. And we're about to witness a double lead for the United States. Eva Thurston even faster than Nina Schamberger at this checkpoint, as Olivia Bushko was the first athlete to conclude the first lap with a time of 16 minutes and 12 seconds. I'm pretty sure we're going to see times a lot faster than that, as we see Alison Mackey on track, the Canadian world champion just 2 days ago in the 20K must start free race. Tabitha Williams for Great Britain, born and raised in London. Unsurprisingly, her Olympic dream came to life when she was following the 2012 Olympic Games. And it's probably only a matter of seconds until we have a travel lead for the United States. Sammy Smith about to close in on the checkpoint at 3.9 kilometers. Yeah, and that's exactly how it is. Just 0.4 of a second behind Eva Thurston. Oline Westad of Norway already on track, as we now wait for Ilsa Torvinen. A gold medalist at the World University Games in Torino Pragelato last year. So you can say pretty much a student world champion. Elin Henriksson for Sweden. Already 17 World Cup starts to her name, with the best results being in 19th place in the Sprint Classic in Falun, February 2025, so just a little over a year ago. Let's see how she does on this longer distance, the sprints, under 23 world champion. Virginia Cena for Italy from Cressan in Valle d'Aosta. Where she basically has perfect training conditions, very long winters with lots of snow, so that was a huge advantage on her way, definitely. Margot Tillois for France. Another athlete that managed to finish the Tour de Ski overall this year with a 40th place. And the first seeded athlete, Lisa Eriksson, the first to match up with the US Americans, just 5 seconds behind Eva Thurston, who is still in the lead. Laura Kytteje also in the mix at the very early stage of this race, pretty much matching Thurston's time. So even though the US Americans had none of their athletes in the seeded group. They are very, very competitive for now. Marina Kelin, the younger sister of Nadia Kelin, the two-time Olympic medalist from Milano Cortina. So she has the best role model pretty much right by her side. And look at Eva Ingebrigtsen, a very strong first phase of the race for her. 50 seconds, her advantage over Ava Thurston, skiing the 3.9 kilometers in 11 minutes and 20 seconds. And she's overtaken her teammate Tuva Anine Brusvin Jensen by quite the margin. As we here see the final seeded athlete, Mali Etenisbakken. Finished 8th in the 20K 2 days ago. The 3rd in the overall Scandinavian Cup this season. So the Norwegians having a couple of athletes aiming for the first medal since Margrethe Bergane 3 years ago in Whistler, where she won bronze. So at 5 kilometers we still have the US treble lead with Thurston leading ahead of Smith and Schamberger, but it's just a matter of time until the first Norwegians will arrive there. Here we see Justin Gaillard not quite able to match up with the best times at that point. 1 minute and 16 seconds already behind Ingebrigtsen. So Marceline Rossi having a decent start into the race, already overtaking Ilvie Foulier from Italy. So made up 30 seconds towards her. And Ilvie's sister Marit also on the course with whip number 41. Lucia Tomova for Czechia, about to start her race. The 3rd race of the week for her after the sprints, where she finished 37th, and the 20K, where she placed 50th. But the first race of the week, obviously, in the classic technique for her. So we will see how that will go for her. Evelina Krusel also going a very decent pace at that point, already overtaken her teammate Tove Eriksson and is about to pass Eddy Convar from France as well. 25 seconds behind Ingebrigtsen, so virtually currently sitting in 2nd place. But so far Ingebrigtsen first at literally every checkpoint. Grissel being one of those that are challenging her. The other one, Leonie Perry. But at halftime, it's Ingebrigtsen leading ahead of Brusvin Jensen at the moment, with Ava Thurston in 3rd place. With bib number 50, this is Marley Molinaro from Canada. born in Squamish, so also in the surroundings of the 2010 Olympics venues. And here we see Fabienne Alder reaching the checkpoint at the 3.9 kilometers, and it's very impressive to see how far Ingebrigtsen is ahead of the rest of the field. It's a bit of a reminiscence to what happened earlier in the men's race, where Nico Antola won with 30 seconds plus. But Ingebrigtsen at the moment does seem to be even more dominant than that. Up front, this is Anna Maria Jaklova for Czechia. Already breezed past Charlotte Böhme of Germany. But still lost more than a minute against Ingebrigtsen. The Norwegian leading at halftime with 36 seconds over Evelina Krusell. Selena Rossi from Finland is currently in third, so an all-Scandinavian podium at the moment. But, like I said, Leonie Perry, someone to look out for, 30 seconds behind Ingebrigtsen at 3.9 kilometers, so she's also in the mix, fighting for a medal. Daria Kim for Kazakhstan. First time participating at the event in this age category, born in 2005. Silva Kempi. Pretty much on the same level as her teammate Selena Rossi, so it's an even match between these two. Keeping the chances for Finland's second medal today alive. But also Alison Mackie lost quite a bit of ground already. It's a rocket start for Eva Ingebrigtsen. This is getting more and more clear the longer this race is lasting. Here is her teammate Oline Westad. Yeah, at least remotely in medal contention, we can tell. But at least the fight for silver and bronze is fairly open at this stage. Ilsa Torvinen here also quite in the mix, as we saw Olivia Bushko in the background. Coming to this checkpoint, she's already just about a kilometer off the finish, actually. Unlike Elin Henriksson. Obviously, the Norwegian fans and supporters well aware of how things stand at the moment. There it's looking very, very good. As we see a half Norwegian currently, Jenny Axisa Eriksen, the daughter of a Maltesian mother and a Norwegian father, who changed the ski association in summer 2024. So this is her second season skiing for Malta, a nation which hasn't seen any snow since 1949. So that alone, very much standing out. Ava Thurston, clearly the fastest skier at the moment of the early bib numbers. As we here see Marina Kaelin very much in contention for silver with a split time of 20 seconds slower than Ingebrigtsen after 3.9 kilometers. So this is looking very good for the Swiss. Very successful nation, by the way, in this particular event. 4 medals, 2 of them golds. In the women's 10K, Anja Weber won actually here in Norway 4 years ago in Ligna. And then we had Silvana Buchner in 2007 in Tarvisio, also taking the title. So Olivia Bushko arriving to the finish with a time just above the 33-minute mark, 33 minutes and 5 seconds. But we have already seen Kamila Ejiniak, her teammates, being quite a bit faster than her. As Mali Edenes Bakin also puts her name on the list of medal candidates. And here comes Ava Thurston, the final climb before the downhill towards the stadium. Here comes the little last bump, and then it's just pushing towards the end. And actually, she has managed to overtaking quite a few athletes. Kamila Ejiniak now sets the best time at the finish, but here you can see bib number 2 and 3 just arriving to the finish before Thurston makes it there. So the Polish double lead is part of the past now, as Thurston comes to the finish with a time of 30 minutes and 33.9 seconds. More than 2 minutes faster than Kamila Ejiniak has skied, as we have a brief overview on the standings after 3.9 kilometers. The top group almost completed half of the race. And it can be just a matter of a couple of minutes before we see Eva Ingebrigtsen arriving to the stadium. She has passed the checkpoint at 8.5 kilometers. And here she comes with bib number 20. She has a couple of athletes around her, so not the most comfortable position if you have to make your way around those competitors. Even though the coaches will try to make the others being aware of her, but she looks fully in control at that stage. 1.5 minutes, her advantage over the second fastest time at the moment. And the toughest part of the work is almost done for her. People seemingly a bit in disbelief at that stage about how dominant that performance is. I mean, look at that. Tuva Nina Brusvin Jensen started 30 seconds ahead of her and lost pretty much 2 minutes of time, we can tell. Yeah, almost on the dot pretty much. But Brusvin Jensen, at least at that stage of the race, still in second position. Although there are quite a lot of athletes being able to ski faster than the Norwegian. And here we are back with Ingebrigtsen. Now she's even overtaken Lisa Eriksson, who started as the first seeded athlete. She's absolutely in a league of her own on this Saturday, the 7th of March 2026. On home ground, that comes pretty much on top. We haven't had a world champion in that particular race in the women's on home ground ever. That looks pretty much to be changed today. It's Eva Ingebrigtsen who took full control of this race and of her opponents from the very first step, from the very first second in this race. Eva Thurston still in the lead, but that will change in just a few meters. Eva Ingebrigtsen comes to the finish and puts on a new benchmark with 1 minute and 50 seconds ahead of Thurston. And she's fully aware of what she has done. 28 minutes, 43 seconds, her overall finish time. As Nora Kütteje is taking over second place from Eva Thurston at the moment. And here comes her teammate Celine Rossi. Probably not a medal contender because we don't see her among the top 8 in the splits before that checkpoint. But for now it seems to become a Norwegian double lead as Tuva Anine Brusvin Jensen comes to the finish, but just manages to beat Kütteje's time by exactly 2 seconds. And it even seems like Ingebrigtsen didn't even had to put everything on the table in this race. But Evelina Krusell on her fight for a medal. It's a little an up and down race for her. Sometimes in some checkpoints she's even on silver, sometimes she's just outside the medal, so she has to rely on a strong finish in order to score a medal today. This is Rossi on her way to the stadium. The benchmark for silver currently sits at 30 minutes 17.4 seconds from Tuva Anine Brysvin Jensen. And the Finnish ski is going very well. Also, that's what Nico Antola has pointed out earlier this morning. So the technicians have done a phenomenal job after the weather change overnight. And Rossi will be able to beat Brysvin Jensen's time. Probably not by much, but she might put herself into the virtual medal rank of silver. That's exactly how it is. 3.1 seconds ahead of the Norwegian. Oh, but that's going to be an interesting waiting game for her. If this is going to be enough for a medal. Evelina Krusel, definitely a candidate we have to consider. Just missed out on medal honors 2 days ago in the 20K. But at the last checkpoint, she was on the silver medal rank, and she was able to perform the finish she needed for a medal. It's not going to be even close between her and Rossi. She will take over the second place as of now. 20 seconds clear of the Finn. They're still carefully checking if there are any candidates on track. Leonie Perrier, for instance. Second at the second to last checkpoint before the finish at 8.9 kilometers.
But she's nearly 1 minute behind Ingebrigtsen. But it could be also that she is in the fight for the medals now. Leonie Perrier was sixth.
But also we shouldn't rule out Uline Vesta and Marina Krelin that are still coming up. So the race isn't over yet in that regard. Fair congratulations from Krishel towards Ingebrigtsen, who has a comfy position in that leader chair. Silva Kempe with bib number 33, not exactly a medal contender, but still a very compact result for the Finnish team overall. Laura Kyteje in the finish still in 5th place. And Perry is putting on a fight for silver. I can let you know. She is second at the last splits before the finish at 9.5 kilometers. Should be only a matter of seconds until she's coming to the finish, and hopefully is also being in our lenses. There she is. She has an athlete in front of her that is still on the first lap, Tena Hadžić for Croatia. But looks like to make her way around the Croatian. Who has to take a different lane anyway, because she will have to ski another lap. So another 20 seconds of spare time for Perrier in order to make it to the silver rank. But it's looking very, very promising for her. She keeps an advantage over Krishel and is second as of now. Even breezed past Anna Maria Jaklova on the last couple of meters there. So also very strong performance for Perry. Elsa Torvinen for Finland. Not a medal contender at that stage of the race. It's super tight. There's still 3 to 4 athletes coming up towards their finish that might be challenging Crucel for the bronze medal, or even Perry on silver. Silva Kempi, the next of the strong Finnish team, arriving to the finish, just missing out on her teammate Nora Kyttejä, but still the places 4, 6 and 7 for Finland at the moment. A very strong team effort. And on the left-hand side comes Alison Mackey on the last meters of this 10K Classic interval start race. Puts herself in between the two Finns, Kyttejä and Kempi, on 7th place. Finishing alongside Susanna Fujak of Poland, who is currently in 20th. This is Marina Krelin, the Swiss, having her eyes on a silver medal. Look at the gap she's had to Leonie Perry. So we cannot distribute silver and bronze yet. Oline Westad missing out on bronze by just 10 seconds on and about. Yes, that's how it is. 4th place for Westad at the moment. And Crucel will carefully look on what Krelin is doing on course. She seems to be the last real threat when it comes to the medals at the moment. The penultimate seeded athletes still on track, as well as Mali Etenes-Bakkin. As Elsa Torvinen completes a strong Finnish team performance with her 10th place. So currently all 4 Finns inside the top 10, but a couple of athletes still coming up, so it won't stay exactly like that, but still they have done everything they can. Here we have Mali Etenes-Bakkin. We saw that her teammate Oline Westad missed out on a medal by 10 seconds, and Bakkin is about 8 seconds behind her. So it will most likely be just one medal for Norway, but the most valuable one. So here comes Krelin, who has had a very strong overall performance, a very consistent race. And she won't have to worry about the finishing position, because she's going to take 2nd and therefore silver at this event by quite some margin. Around half a minute, or pretty much half a minute ahead of Leonie Perry. So while her sister won bronze in the 50K at the team sprint at Milano Cortina Marina is going to take silver today. With bib number 43, this is Alexandra Kołodziej for Poland. Looking to score the strongest result for her team today. By quite a distance, actually. The best one of them is still Susanna Fujak in 25th place, but that won't last much longer anymore. It's going to be a 6th place for Kołodziej at this very moment. That's going to be her strongest performance in the under 23 category. Mali Etenes-Bakken has closed up to Virginia Cena of Italy on the last part of this race, but now takes 6th place away from Kołodziej. Ah, that was a nice piece of emotion by Eva Ingebrigtsen. Looks like it already has sunk in what she's achieved today. The 2nd medal for her in just a couple of days. Also the 2nd gold at under 23 World Championships after gold with the relay last year. And also for Leonie Perry, it's the 2nd medal within just a couple of days after she won bronze in the 20K. And also only the 2nd medal for France in 10K events for women ever in the U23 category, after Celia Aymonier in Val di Fiemme 2014. What a nice gesture of congratulations between Bakken and Ingebrigtsen.
This was a knockout of we don't see so often. Callie was the only one who was close, 32 seconds.
So we've spoken about great successes for Switzerland as the next Swiss athlete is coming to the finish. Ramona Schöpfer finishing inside the top 30. And the bib has been distributed already. So already the first piece of gold on Eva Ingebrigtsen.
And our friend from Chile is fighting hard again. Hop, hop, hop, Martina Flores. 1 lap to go. She's the only competitor from Chile.
So as of now, the whole field at least concluded half of the distance. Also the final starter with bib number 64, Martina Flores from Chile, has made it past half-time. So all remaining athletes are on their 2nd and final lap, as we see Elizaveta Tolmachiova for Kazakhstan.
15th place, Tomacho.
In the background, Anna Stewart, the Canadian from Thunder Bay.
47, Anna Stewart. Finishing on 40,
Was also
taking
doing
that from Tomacho.
track running in her recent younger years. Short distances, 100, 200 and 400 meters actually. So definitely not comparable at all to
50,
what she has done today.
50 is Marlie Molinaro, Canada, 49, Emily.
Her teammates,
USA.
Marie Molinaro,
USA, Canada here.
closing in
Started 13 seconds behind.
onto the finish with Evelyn Walton from the United States in her back at the moment. Yeah, but nothing really has changed inside the top.
Ahead of USA here.
Even inside the top
Fighting around 35th place.
25 places in the recent minutes. So these positions are pretty much set, and also nobody's looking to change that within the remaining competitors in this race.
Number 40,
Lucia Tumova of Czech Republic
Czechia.
closing
With more than 5 minutes.
her race,
And the outstanding winner of the race.
just avoiding the last position as of now. That has been taken by Yuka Yamasaki of Japan. This is Aida Khashieva from Kazakhstan. So a good 15 athletes still remaining on the course.
Yeah, that's been tough too. Yeah, for me it was like a little bit up, down, and down. But yeah, it worked out. Yeah, that's great.
Not the two best, waiting for the last finishers. Kashieva, the last 100
Yeah, Marina Krelin and Eva Ingebrigtsen having a short analysis of
with the gold medal here, 1994.
the race as Khashieva
Eva in the middle, Marina on my left, Leonie on my right.
about to end her race on 47th position.
Welcome to the finish. Aida, number 47 so far.
So, and the first
And here we have the three best, and they are worth a big
medalists picture, despite them having no medals as of now. Composed Eva Ingebrigtsen, Marina Krelin and Leonie Perry.
Norway, Switzerland, France.
So it will be only a matter of minutes before we will also hear from them.
Till imorgon att vi har stafett i dag också, i kombinerat mixstafett. Som startar klockan 23. And imagine that we have a mixed relay coming up at 3 o'clock also in the morning.
Eva, this time the medal is in gold. How does that feel?
It feels very good. Yes, I didn't know what to expect before the race today. It was a very good day on Thursday, but you never know if it's a good or a bad day. Yeah.
This was a real World Cup performance because you opened so fast and you increased the pace all the way. What was the tactic exactly?
Well, I'm known to open a little bit too fast, so I tried to just stay calm and think that I needed to have a little bit more to push with the last lap. But it's never too slow when I opened, so it was very hard the last round, but it felt good. Yeah.
Do you know what you're gonna do next for the season? Are you gonna compete maybe tomorrow in the National Cup, or are you focusing on the World Cup now?
I think it will be a relay tomorrow for me, and then I really hope I get to ski the 50k in Holmenkollen. But I'm not sure how that would feel. I've never skied a 50k before, so it's a little nerve-wracking, but I think that would be fun. Yeah.
Thanks, congrats.
Thank you
So the next goal, more or less, for Eva Ingebrigtsen
Silver medal today for
announced.
Switzerland and you. How does that feel?
Yeah, it's really cool. I just hope to get one medal this championship, and it's cool that I got one.
What was your tactic? Because after 2 kilometers you were already 20 seconds behind. So, what is in your mind when you have this gap?
I knew that I shouldn't start too fast because, like, in the middle there's quite some uphills and it gets tough. We saw with the other categories that there were a lot of gaps, so it didn't really bother me.
You have a really strong Swiss team, and also your sister was succeeding so well lately. So, how is it to train with your sister, maybe, and to be around your sister?
Yeah, it's really cool because obviously it's fun if you can train with someone that you know is on a high level. And since she's my sister, we grew up together, and that's how it's always been.
Thanks, congrats. Okay, Leonie, bronze again. How does that feel?
I think that was very good race because I literally cracked on the last lap. I think I finished 10, I don't know, but I do all of I have today and I finished third, so yeah, that was very incredible.
You can do both classic and skate, but what do you prefer best?
Of course I prefer skating, but today showed that I'm good too in classic, so I love just ski in general.
What are your expectations for tomorrow, the relay?
I hope the team are in good shape, and I think we can do all the best and take the first place.
Thanks, Leonie, congrats.
So probably some words to be remembered until tomorrow for the relay. Quite an ambitious goal Leonie Perry has set for her and her teammates, but we will see how that will pan out. The starting time tomorrow for the under 23 relay is at 12 actually. So half an hour earlier than the women's race today. And earlier we will have the juniors relay at 9:30. So definitely something you should put on your personal schedule if you're a cross-country fan for tomorrow. Like I said earlier, the nominations within the teams will be made this afternoon. Then we will compose the start list and see how those teams will line up tomorrow.
Number 61, the last start number is 64.
And of course, we are going to accompany also the last remaining athletes on the course. This is Samantha Krampe from Latvia. Also an Olympian recently in Milano Cortina and a 3-time World Championships participant. And also made her Olympic debut in Beijing 4 years ago. So with only 22 years of age. Quite a remarkable CV already. Here we have Maria Toma of Romania on the left-hand side, and on the right hand, İrem Dursun, the Turkish competitor. Was made up already a minute towards the Romanian, so good performance for her on her personal level. The athletes had the third highest bib number, and who was actually the flag bearer of Turkey at the opening ceremony of the Milano Cortina Olympic Winter Games. Only the 4th Turkish woman ever to compete in cross-country at the Olympics. And since Turkey won't have a relay tomorrow, this is her final appearance here in Lillehammer, after finishing 64th in the sprint and 57th in the 20K. So that will conclude her first appearance at the Under-23 World Championships. She's the 60th athlete to reach the finish, but will be ranked higher than Toma, as we can see. So that means we most likely have still 2 competitors on course, if I'm not mistaken. As Ekle Savitskaite from Lithuania and Jenny Aksiksa Eriksen have not finished the race. They are listed as DNF at the 5 kilometers. Eriksen pulled out between kilometer 3.9 and 4.5, and Savitskaite between 4.5 and 5K. So then it's just Martina Flores from Chile on course. She has reached the split time at 6.7 kilometers. The 20-year-olds who was also a participant at Biathlon Junior World Championships, actually 3 years ago in Shchuchinsk, Kazakhstan. And that's exactly the place where the next Junior World Championships will take place in just 1 year. There she plans to compete as well as in the Senior World Championships in Falun. And the year after, she still would be permitted to start in the Under-23 World Championships. So still a nice route ahead of her before the big goal, the 2030 Olympic Winter Games in the French Alps. Now she's made it to the 7.6 mark. So 3 more checkpoints to go for her at 8.5, 8.9 and 9.5 kilometers. So it's the 4th Under-23 World Championship title for Norway in the 10K women's individual race, alongside 3 times silver and 5 times bronze. So they are unsurprisingly the most successful nation. For Switzerland, it's the 2nd silver besides 2 golds and 1 bronze medal. And for France, the 1st bronze medal besides 1 silver. And also the 1st medal for Norway on home grounds at this event, or let's say in the 10K women's individual race. And immediately it's a gold medal. So there we get to see her, Martina Flores. And the Italian fans, despite their athletes not scoring any medals today, still visibly happy to be here in Lillehammer, the hosts of last year's Junior Championships in Skilpario. That's a flag prepared for Oline Westad. So a nice little fan club for her, being very present on the cameras. Oh, it's not that little actually. More and more people coming there. That's really cool to see. Glad to see those people enjoying themselves. Really, really cool. So, still 2 more checkpoints to go for Martina Flores. Who's made it past the 8.5 kilometers. And here is making her way to the 8.9. Competed in a variety of different events this season, we should say, because obviously she competed in quite a few races on her home continent, South America, in Chile and Argentina, but also in the FIS Alpine Cup in Austria in St. Ulrich just before Christmas, and also in the World Cup actually in Davos and Trondheim, and even earlier in Ruka. But unlike quite a few athletes we will see tomorrow, she doesn't have to think about the relay. But those, I mean the junior and U23 relays, are set to become a really nice finishing point of these World Championship days here in Lillehammer. Still a little more than a kilometer to go for Flores. As we also had the World Cup in Falun today with the sprint events. A double win for Sweden, Joanna Sundling ahead of Lynn Swan. And Coletta Ritzek of Germany finishing third in the women's. And the men's just finished a couple of minutes ago. Johannes Hesfold Klæbo scoring yet another victory ahead of Lars Heggen and Jules Chepas. On the schedule for tomorrow, the same events or formats we have seen here today in Lillehammer, with the 10K Interval Start Classic. The women's starting at 10:30 Central European Time, and the men at 12:15 Central European Time at the Lahti Ski Games. A full weekend of Nordic skiing action with the cross-country skiers, the Nordic Combiners, and the ski jumpers competing at the Salpausselke. And that is a really nice welcome for Martina Flores, who is on the finish straight just right now. And also our medal winners are cheering and waiting on her to officially end this race here. So once again, And for the final time of this broadcast, we have a look on the result list. Eva Ingebrigtsen confirmed as under 23 world champion in the 10K individual classic events for women. Silver goes to Marina Krelin of Switzerland and bronze to Leonie Perry of France. Those are the final names that score individual medals at the FIS Nordic Junior and Under 23 World Championships here in Lillehammer. Tomorrow we will be back with the relay races, 9:30 Central European Time, the juniors, and 12 Central European Time, the Under 23. On behalf of FIS TV, we will be very happy if you joined us again tomorrow. And with that, our broadcasting is coming to an end. My name is Luis Holuch. Thank you very much for tuning in. And see you hopefully tomorrow.